The room froze on a single frame, a flash of black fabric, a sharp center part, sunglasses angled like a shield, and then the comment that detonated across timelines. She's the Temu version. Allegedly a joke. Reportedly a jab. But the sting stuck. It was quick. 3 to 5 seconds. A paparazzi clip stitched to a headline collage. Victoria Beckham composed in her signature black silhouette. Meghan Markle arriving elsewhere wearing a near-mirror aesthetic. 2 images. 1 accusation, and 1,000 think pieces sprang up like sparks on dry grass. But what if the clip wasn't the story? What if the camera caught the costume and missed the calculus? Sources suggest it wasn't cosplay. It was strategy, a studied echo, a deliberate PR chord meant to harmonize or drown out the song that Victoria's Netflix halo has been playing for months. Here's what viewers saw. Victoria's look, clean, architectural, disciplined. The brand is body language she's perfected for years. Meghan's look, similar lines, similar mood, similar don't talk to me gloss that reads like couture armor. Instant side-by-sides, instant polls, instant cruelty. What insiders reportedly say is different. They whisper about timing, optics, and the ruthless rhythm of a publicity cycle. They point to calendar math the public never sees. Product drops, sponsorship timelines, charity spotlights, streaming pushes, partnership teasers. Fashion becomes punctuation in a sentence about relevance. Clothes become signals in a market where attention is currency. Witnesses claimed the energy around Meghan that day was charged, almost theatrical. Handlers leaned in. Phones pinged. Security adjusted the formation like choreography. No words, just angles. Just posture. Just a look that said, I know what you think you're seeing, but the surface was never the full truth. Because this isn't simply about copying a silhouette. This is about authority, who has it, who keeps it, who rents it from the public one viral moment at a time. Let's slow it down. Unpack the event. Picture the carousel of coverage. Victoria's best looks this season. Meghan's new style era. Who wore it better? The headlines fed each other. Engagement soared. And algorithms cold and hungry rewarded conflict with reach. On one side, Victoria, ascendant again, fashion house sharpened, cultural cachet renewed, documentary glow still warm. The Beckham brand story is built on discipline, scarcity, and that cool whisper of European restraint. On the other side, Meghan, reportedly pivoting, allegedly repositioning, moving from heartfelt memoir tones to a more controlled editorial aesthetic, cleaner lines, fewer words, sharper silhouette. A posture that reads, precision over confession. To the casual eye, it's resemblance. To the trained watcher, it's a power language. You don't just wear black, you wield it. You don't just choose sunglasses, you choose the size of the boundary between you and the world. Insiders murmured that Meghan's team, reportedly a blend of top-tier image consultants, a heavyweight agency, and a circle of trusted stylists, has been testing this line for months. Minimal, monochrome, message first. Aesthetics that compress noise into signal and move the needle from controversial personality to controlled brand. Is that copying? Or is it convergence? The inevitable moment when 2 public figures, both carving empires, reach for the same blunt instrument of modern fame, the immaculate black silhouette. Still, the Temu line stuck, because it was engineered to stick. It's short, mean, memorable. And in the attention economy, cruelty travels business class. But tension is never born from one comment. It builds from years of crosswinds, competing launches, overlapping headlines, adjacent social circles, the invisible politics of proximity. Remember, fashion doesn't just sell clothes. It sells hierarchy. Who sets the tone? Who follows? Who flinches? Here's where the cracks show. Victoria's brand projects scarcity and succession. Tight edits, controlled drops, a universe where less is more and sold out is the point. Meghan's brand projects access and cause, visibility, voice, soft power wrapped in charity and narrative. When those 2 lines cross, you don't get harmony. You get static.pr watchers allegedly clocked the choreography. A fresh wave of Beckham content. A near-simultaneous flare of Meghan imagery structured for maximum share. It's not a coincidence, they say. It's a cadence. Someone is counting beats. Cue the agencies, publicists, strategists, deal makers. The names don't matter as much as the machine. a lattice of calls and counters, embargoes and exclusives, friendly sources who seed whispers like gardeners sowing a harvest of headlines. One side tightens the fit of the narrative, sleek, impeccable European poise. The other side leans into the heat, American pace, activism, reclamation, the comeback arc, and then the all-too-easy insult. Temu version. Reduced to a meme, a woman becomes a knockoff. But what does that say about us? Are we judging brand codes or people? Do we prefer a woman silent and stylish to a woman speaking and polarizing? Or do we only accept the noise when it's packaged as chic? Allegedly, there's history. Reportedly, there were years of soft frost between camps. Friendly on camera, complicated off it. Nothing scandalous. Just the quiet mathematics of status. Who introduces whom to which ateliers? Who gets the first pull from a new collection? Who sits where at a show? In fashion, friendship is often spelled FRONTROW. Behind the scenes, staff shuffle. Stylists circulate. One season's architect of image becomes another season's unavailable, and suddenly the silhouettes rhyme. To the outside world, it looks like imitation. To the people inside the room, it looks like supply chain. Still, imitation only ignites when it lands on Tinder. And right now, the culture is restless. We are hungry for winners and losers. We want to cast women as twins or rivals, saints or schemers. We want a mirror and a fight inside the same frame. That is the real tension. And it's not just Meghan versus Victoria. It's the question of who gets to define luxury in 2025. Is it heritage and scarcity? Or visibility and narrative control? Consider the stakes. Victoria's house has climbed a steep hill. Critical respect, commercial growth, that clean line legitimacy you can't fake. Meghan's path is different, reportedly anchored to deals that require not just appearance but participation, content, causes, conversations that keep her face and message in circulation. Both build influence. Both translate influence into leverage. And that's where the lines blur. Because the same sunglasses speak two dialects depending on who wears them. Witnesses claim that, in private, Meghan looked neither rattled nor rattling. A calm face. Hands relaxed. The exact opposite of the comment storm buzzing online. This is what professionals do. They hold the pose while the narrative beats on the glass. But fashion is never only staged for the present. It's a down payment on a future headline. Today's look seeds tomorrow's deal memo. Today's meme becomes tomorrow's metric. Let's talk headlines. VB dominates Paris. Meghan's new era. Sister style or shadow play? Editors love binaries. Algorithms love friction. In a calm news week, a side-by-side is a gift. So ask the harder question. Who benefits from the insult? The person who said it? The accounts that amplified it? Or the two women at the center who, like it or not, got more reach, more comment volume, more oxygen? A smart PR team counts oxygen, not insults. They measure pulses, engagement, sentiment, redemption arcs. Sources suggest neither camp is crying in a conference room. Both are tracking the graph, yet the human cost is real. You can survive a storm and still resent the rain. Even professionals bruise. Even professionals go home, close the door, and sit in the quiet. Ask yourself, if the same silhouette on two different women triggers outrage, what are we really policing? Originality or ownership? Here's the line no one wants to say aloud. We love a woman who built herself from discipline. We struggle with a woman who rebuilds herself from disruption. Victoria reads as discipline. Meghan reads as disruption. And the culture punishes the second while purchasing the first. Allegedly, this is why the look had to be sharp. Reportedly, this is why the frame had to be severe. A precise silhouette is a refusal to negotiate. It says, I will not explain. So no, the media moment wasn't the truth. It was a decoy. A flicker that distracted from the longer story. Two empires negotiating territory in public view, using fabric as flag, which brings us to the pressure point. Not the insult. Not the meme. The calculation. Because when the camera decided these women were twins, the market chose who would be muse and who would be mirror. And that choice, allegedly, is still being contested. Quietly, methodically, expensively. Now the tension hovers like perfume after the wearer leaves the room. PR teams watch. Designers watch. Viewers keep score. The question isn't who copied whom. It's whose image writes the next contract. And what happens when the contract demands a silhouette that the public has already sworn belongs to someone else? We've opened with the shock. We've unpacked what you saw. We've traced the tension beneath the fabric. But you didn't come for the surface. You came for the seam that might split, and it will. Because the overlooked details are already on the table, hiding in plain sight. The contradictions are lined up like runway lights. The hidden motives are humming in the background audio of every clip you've replayed. Ready to follow the thread? Because the next pull could unravel the whole garment. And once it's undone, there's no pretending the pattern was never there. There's a rule in publicity. If two stories collide, only one walks away spotless. And right now, both Meghan and Victoria are fighting for narrative survival, quietly, elegantly, under the blinding lights of their own success. Because what began as a meme has mutated into a case study in modern reputation warfare. The Temu version line wasn't just a throwaway insult, it was a code. A way for the media to whisper, "She's trying too hard." A way to mark who is original and who is trying to belong. But what if that framing was planted? According to insiders allegedly close to the fashion circuit, whispers started weeks earlier. That a certain magazine had been prepping a side-by-side spread comparing two icons of minimalism. That publicists on both ends were aware. That someone, no one knows who, decided to leak one image early. And once it leaked, the rest was inevitable. Because controversy is the cheapest form of marketing, and outrage always fits in a headline. The mystery begins here. Who wanted this feud back in the spotlight? Victoria, basking in Netflix glory, would gain nothing by stoking rivalry. Meghan, reportedly launching new ventures, needed attention but not pity. So who stood to profit from chaos? PR veterans suggest it may not have been either camp, but the ecosystem around them. The stylists who rise when their clients trend. The agencies that sell brand placements and viral moments. The fashion editors who know a recycled rivalry still sells better than new talent. Every industry has its ghosts. And in this one, fame's ghostwriters are the middlemen. Witnesses claimed that even Meghan's inner circle was split. Some urged her to stay silent. Others, allegedly, wanted a subtle rebuttal, an unbothered photo drop, maybe an appearance in a new brand that screamed originality. Instead, she chose composure. A calm, calculated distance that reads as both defiance and fatigue. Meanwhile, Victoria did what she always does. She said nothing. And that silence spoke like thunder. Because silence in her world is strategy. It says, "I'm too established to respond." But silence also sharpens speculation. And soon, fans began hunting for proof of tension in every pose, every caption, every absence. Why hadn't they been seen together in years? Why did Meghan's friend group quietly reshuffle after 2020? Why did Beckham insiders reportedly decline to comment when asked about Meghan's latest venture? One unanswered question births 10 headlines. One smirk in a photo becomes a thesis on betrayal. That's how celebrity ecosystems work. Truth trickles, rumor floods. Still, look closer. There's a deeper current. This isn't just about two women. It's about the performance of reinvention. Victoria reinvented herself from pop star to designer to global matriarch of restraint. Meghan is reinventing herself from duchess to media executive to cultural archetype. Both wear transformation like couture, tailored, rehearsed, perfected. Both know the price of visibility, every inch of autonomy paid for in scrutiny. But here's the irony the media won't admit. They are mirrors. Different surfaces, same reflection. Discipline in public, doubt in private. And maybe that's why the world can't stop comparing them. Because we recognize in their tension the cost of wanting to be seen and respected at the same time. Allegedly, the Temu slur didn't just hurt, it worked. It reignited Meghan's relevance cycle. Search volumes spiked. Engagement jumped. People who hadn't spoken her name in months suddenly had opinions again. And in the brutal economy of visibility, outrage is still a form of income. So yes, it's cruel. But it's also currency. Behind the scenes, PR insiders reportedly noted a new pattern. Whenever Victoria rises through elegance, Meghan rises through emotion. One rules through quiet luxury, the other through narrative power. And that contrast, discipline versus disruption, keeps both alive in headlines. So maybe the feud is not a curse. Maybe it's a collaboration neither will admit. Because every time Victoria posts a poised runway clip, the algorithm suggests Meghan's latest public sighting. Every time Meghan's name trends, Victoria's brand searches go up too. It's symbiotic scandal, unspoken, profitable, exhausting. But what happens when imitation meets evolution? What if Meghan wasn't copying Victoria at all, but symbolically reclaiming what women like Victoria once represented? Silence, decorum, the polished cage of being likable? Maybe this wasn't fashion plagiarism. Maybe it was rebellion disguised as resemblance. Think about it. Victoria built a fortress from control. Meghan is breaking hers from exposure. Both strategies work until they don't. And when they stop working, both women will face the same truth. The public doesn't love women who win too loudly. The legacy. It's easy to dismiss this story as another pop culture rivalry. But years from now, it might read like a parable about modern femininity. How women in power must perform similarity just to be compared and then get punished for the resemblance. Both Meghan and Victoria will outlast the memes. Their archives will tell different stories. But one thing will remain, that haunting phrase that turned a photograph into a trial. Temu version. A taunt that reveals more about our spectatorship than their style. Because what we really mock isn't imitation, it's ambition. We punish women for evolving past their assigned narrative. We mock them for stepping into someone else's silhouette when all they wanted was to escape their own. Sources close to both camps reportedly say there's no feud, no animosity, no private war. But the silence between them tells its own truth. Mutual awareness, mutual fatigue, mutual understanding of how brutal admiration can be. And so the story ends where it began. A frozen frame, two silhouettes, one labeled original, the other copy, but under the harsh light of hindsight, both look like soldiers. Dressed not for glamour, but for survival. In the end, the echo became the evidence, and the insult became the mirror. Because in this world of endless reflection, imitation isn't the crime. It's the cost of staying visible. And when the cameras stop flashing, when the applause turns algorithmic and the outrage goes quiet, all that's left is the silence. The same silence that says more than any headline ever could.